So I've had a bunch of friends that have canceled me over the years, ever since I left the blue team. I was never completely on the left. I was definitely left of center. Now I'm right of center, and apparently my views are incompatible with their world view that we must adhere to, or else we are people not worthy of discussion. And I just made a video about Ray Dalio stating that how we treat each other determines how we end up as a nation. And I'm going to tell you that in almost all cases, people that cancel the other go one way, from left to right. They keep just cutting the cord. So my buddy, who I've known for over a decade, who played college basketball and is today a banker of sorts, we used to go out and debate politics every single week, every 2 weeks, over Indian food. And over time, when 2020 came and the Black Lives Matter riots took place, just stating a fact, for example, that blacks commit 53% of murders and represent 13% of the population, are doing so disproportionately, made me a white nationalist in his mind. I personally was offended, but I wasn't going to lose a friendship this long over somebody that I think is just going crazy and going along with the times. So I continue to talk to him. Apparently, the breaking point came when they were going over Roe versus Wade, and I stated that I think is a good thing that it is decentralized, the decision-making process over abortion, and that it's left up to the states. I don't like centralized control over anything, and that apparently was too much, and for 2 years, he didn't talk to me. Then, before the election, when it appeared that Trump might be on his way to win, he messaged me and didn't really give me an apology, just said that that he realized that it's okay to be wrong about some things, and specifically he was referencing the idea that he insisted and called me a conspiracy theorist that COVID emerged from the wet market and not the Wuhan laboratory of COVID viruses. That was his contention, and I was a conspiracy theorist for stating so. And again, people were allowed to have their points of view. It didn't mean for sure that I was right, but I was pretty sure that the evidence was on my side, but that's what he was referencing when he said it was okay to be wrong. This is also somebody that pushed the Russia hoax endlessly and had me watch several hours worth of videos in total about it, about how Trump was implicitly tied with Russia and how Vladimir Putin had intervened on his behalf in the US election. How's that looking now, Nick? But the point is that for a long period of time after this, for about 10 months or whatever it was, I refused to talk about the Israeli war with him because I know what his position on it was. And I made the mistake of precipitating a conversation regarding that because I mentioned the fact that a Syrian who helped me cross over from Syria over the Jordanian border is actually somebody that I'm still in contact with on Facebook. And when I heard that there was a bombing in a Catholic church in Damascus, I inquired whether he was okay. He told me that he was suffering greatly, and I ended up sending him $100. And then I made the mistake of stating that you hadn't heard about this crime, the suicide bombing, because it was the wrong religion that did it. And obviously, in that case, what I'm referencing is the Israeli war against Gaza and Hamas. And he became incensed, and I basically just told him that I'm not going to listen to anybody about this unless they also came out against the atrocities in Sudan and all the people that are dying in the Congo and Nigeria at the hands of Boko Haram and the Islamists there, or in Syria when Assad was killing hundreds of thousands of Sunni Muslims, and in Bangladesh where Hindus and Buddhists are being slaughtered by the Islamists. And I asked him if there was any common thread. Of course, that wasn't the greatest mention by me, but nevertheless, I did. And then he demanded what I thought about Israel and Hamas. And I basically told him that I don't think that a country that is at war after being attacked by terrorists who went out of their way to slaughter innocent people, babies, mothers, and everything else should be given a pass, and that the deaths of Palestinian citizens, even though they've been overtaken in terms of the ideology by Hamas's ideology that they've infused in them for the last 20 years. Even though I do believe that it's a tragedy when the babies die, that it's firmly on Hamas's hands as they hold Israeli hostages captive as leverage that they've taken. And of course, he texted me back and said, please never contact me again. I cannot stand to talk to anybody with values that you have. So how are we supposed to get along as a nation that if you express an opinion that is heterodox, that these leftists, and he's not the furthest left person that you could imagine, he's probably an 8 out of 10 on the TDS scale, but how are we supposed to get along and treat each other well when we can't even express our opinions to one another? That if he has a differing opinion, he can present it. If he has evidence that contravenes what I stated, by all means, let's discuss it. But they're not even willing to do that because you've committed a crime by supporting Israel in their retribution against a terrorist attack. At least that is the framing that I am giving it, and you can go ahead and convince me that maybe I'm wrong in a certain respect. I don't know. I don't know everything about it. I have been to the region. I have seen how Israel is demonized throughout the Arab world, how there in Damascus there was a metal Israeli flag on the ground that you were supposed to step on because they were offering you Israel as the boogeyman versus being mad at your own government as they steal the money from you. That at least is what I experienced in the Middle East in my travels there. But nevertheless, if Israel gets attacked, then they should be just sit there and take it. And the point being is that I don't know how to deal with such people that they believe that if you do not hold the same moral viewpoints that they do, that you are to be ostracized, demonized, canceled, because that's exactly what's gone on once again. And this is the second time that he's done it, and I thought about doing it to him because in our discussions over the last several months, he became very antagonistic towards me and very insulting, and I genuinely thought about just breaking it off with him at that point. But once again, because I'm more circumspect in my actions and not reacting to negative energy and statements directed at me, I don't do that. But the problem that we have, and it's not just about this one individual, is that this is how the people on the left behave. They believe that they are morally superior to us, that they have all the answers. And once again, this guy's wrong about everything from the Russia hoax to the COVID lab leak to Donald Trump and the Hunter Biden laptop. He's wrong about virtually everything, and later on it comes out that he's wrong. And yet he is attacking once again, but this is the mark of a stupid person, right? But what are we supposed to do as fair-minded people? I am willing to debate my points. I am willing to be proven wrong about things, but most people aren't. So do you just shut up? Is that the right thing to do and just continue to have a casual relationship with such a person where you're not able to bring up what you believe? I think that that's how my adopted brother, who is now passed, would think of it. He was a superstar. He was a stud. He had the emotional IQ of an Einstein, and nobody was ever really angry with him, and he was incredibly popular. But that's really a side of the point. I'm really wondering from your perspectives what we can do with dealing with people like my old friend, former friend, Nick. And the fact is that if he supports Hamas and Gaza so much, as they've no doubt infused their ideology intentionally into the children of Gaza, my comment that I've been thinking of sending him, and I haven't done this, and I probably will not do it, and because my friend has 2 young daughters, ages 6 and 3, my comment to him is, Nick, if you desire to invite your friends at Hamas, as Jeremy Corbyn referred to them, over for dinner, make sure to do so before your daughters turn the age of 9. Peace and blessings, guys. Please let me know what you think on this subject in terms of cancellations and how the left behaves, and whether or not you think that people on the right behave in a similar manner towards them. I'm very curious your views. Peace.